I like that phrasing. Let me steal the phrasing and ask a question. Have we finished the book on Russell Westbrook yet? I'll tell you why I'm asking. One, I realized I'm rooting for Denver. I want my man to have his moment. This isn't a championship team in my estimation, but I'll root for them to beat Oklahoma City, like for sure. And I'll absolutely root for them to beat whoever the hell wins that other series.
To settle down.
Settle down what?
They're going against Minnesota. What you talking about?
If they go against Minnesota, I'm rooting against them.
Yeah, I ain't going against Minnesota.
I don't care what you do. This ain't about you.
Speak for yourself.
I didn't say we.
Yeah,
I didn't say we.
Nuggets versus Wolves beef right now. What's going on?
I didn't. What are you talking about? I didn't say we. I said I am going to root for the Denver Nuggets. Because obviously I want Russ to have the moment, but Russ's moment of being a championship player as a role player after being an MVP, after being a leading man, after, playing in LA and, being second fiddle to James Harden, doing all of these different things, going to Washington, looking like things are kind of withering away there. Like for him to find it, because he has been extremely important to what Denver did this season and to what Denver's doing this postseason. I love the idea that there might be, one final chapter there for Russell Westbrook in that book.
I think if they win a title, maybe even just get to the finals, just because the narrative about Westbrook was he's always going to do his thing and play his way. But for him to get a title as a role player, just kind of have an impact doing this, I think would be something new too.
So it's like if Carmelo had his moment.
Yeah.
With either the Blazers or the Lakers, whoever.
But here's the question that I ask, and I've asked since before I was in media, and I just didn't. Sometimes, I understand it, I get it, I understand conversations and the way legacies are set up and all this other stuff. But if that happens, it shouldn't change. Russell Westbrook is one of the great players of all time.
Change what?
It shouldn't change. If he won a championship, we shouldn't look at Russell Westbrook in a different light.
I don't think change, right? We're maybe add. We're talking about.
I'm not saying you. I'm not.
Oh.
I'm just saying that's how people do things in sports.
No, I think Russell Westbrook's legacy is stamped.
Yeah, he's already top 75.
Well, even the thought that he can't be a team guy.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, he won a championship with Denver as a role player, so this shows that he's a team guy. He was already a team guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And that's how I people tend to do that a lot in sports, and I think I just don't think that's a good way to go about things sometimes. They change how they define these players and who they are by one win or loss. And to me, Russell Westbrook has gotten a bad rap for not being a good teammate or not being willing to come off the bench and be a role player. He's done that.
Yeah.
So, and I completely understand what you're saying, what both of you guys are saying, as far as the way he'd be perceived on a grand scale. But for me, and I think you feel the same way, Jesse probably feel the same way too. He's already shown he's a team player. He's already shown he's willing to be great in a different role outside of that. And people who would look at him winning a championship and be like, well, this proves that, well, no, you just weren't paying attention, or you were already being unfair to him for no reason. And I think that happens often. It's the game. It's the game. We talk for a living. I get it, but he's already proven that to me.
See, we feel how we feel, but does their narrative kind of matter? Because Russ is Russ or whatever, but he's never going to get that just doing.
Well, the narrative around Russ is never going to change.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, the narrative, even in the scenario you presented, I don't think that's going to happen. I think what we were talking about was adding, and I heard what you were saying, just adding a chapter to, because Jesse said the James Harden book is written.
Yeah, that's
stamp it, send it out to press. The thought that maybe Russell Westbrook is adding a little bonus chapter for the paperback here with the Denver Nuggets, I think is pretty dope. People are always going to look at Russell Westbrook the same way because he's smiling and laughing more at media sessions now than he ever has. And I think there's multiple reasons for it. I don't think he has to do it every day. I don't think anyone feels like the story of the Denver Nuggets is Russell Westbrook. It's Jokic. It's probably Jamal. It's probably Gordon. It's probably David Adelman at this point, really. I mean, the more David Adelman wins, the more impressive this all becomes. or I should say, the more the Nuggets win, the more impressive this becomes for David Adelman. But like Russ is a lot lower on that totem pole, so he doesn't have to, be in front of the media day after day after day after day talking to, Law Murray or these different guys covering this series. And I think that's kind of, I don't know if soften him is the right word, but I've definitely seen Russ like laugh and engage with media a lot more. I go back to the earlier this year regular season game. I think Russ had a triple-double, and someone said to him, "Hey, do you know you've won like 76% of your games that you've had a triple-double?" He goes, "Really? Well, that's pretty good." And the guy was like, "Yeah, that's second." He goes, "Who's first?" "Well, Jokic has 77%. He goes, "Damn." It's like you don't see that from Russ.
Yeah.
And I think it's maybe it's just being older, but I also think he isn't the focal point of everything that they're doing right now. But when he was, I mean, guys like, I don't think Sam likes him. You know what I mean? Like I think the people who covered him, shoot, I don't think we've ever asked Slater what he thought of him. Like he had to cover him in Oklahoma City, post that NBA finals where things got real bad for Russ in the media. There's a lot of guys there at The Athletic who covered Russell Westbrook during that MVP year that, they just don't like him. And I'm not sure that those feelings will ever change. But the idea that Russ is adding a little something here towards the end of his career, I think is pretty dope.
Do you, by those measures, do you think that James, we don't have to close the book on James then either? Because the thought of who he is, we lived it. Like I just said, I don't ever believe in a big moment he's going to come through and get a bucket. But who's to say next year he does do that and he, in an elimination game, saves the team, wins a championship? Once again, much like Russ, that won't change the narrative or what people already think about James, but that would be a chapter. So we can't close the book yet because we don't know.
No, you want to have your little whole blah blah blah.
Because he's
not. Yeah, it's over, bro.
No,
we
I
know.
Send it.
Yeah, so that's why it's
to the
done.
printer.
Like you just said, he's not. It's done.
I'm the publisher. I'll take my chances.
Kenny wants to be,
send the book to the printer.
Maybe he will next. No, we're not doing that. He's done.
I don't believe he will.
Exactly. So that's why the book is closed.
All right, you don't. All right, all those in favor of sending the book to the publisher say aye.
Aye. Thank you.
We're out of here. What are we doing?
But if he wins the championship, how are we not gonna have that part of the book?
Well, he can write another book.
Oh, we don't need
you
that.
can throw that chapter in next to the chapter where I win the lottery because it's not happening.
There you go.
Oh, so you're not gonna win a championship? Might not win a championship.
No, he's not. It's done.
Not disputing that. Not disputing that at all. That was awful. That was pathetic. And I will say
he
this.
wasn't the only one, though.
No, he wasn't. I was just about to say, nobody really showed up.
Yeah, no one did. It's that
those fans did. Shout out Steve Ballmer.
Shout out Steve Ballmer. That was dope. I didn't know anything about that story until I was watching the game because I wasn't on Twitter before the game. I was watching the game, and I looked after one of the replays. I said, "Is that a bunch of Clippers people behind the basket?"
Should have just saved your money.
And I tweeted it out, and they was like, "Yeah, Ballmer flew out a bunch of people. I don't know how he got those tickets, but yeah, he did that, trying to recreate the wall on the road."
Ballmer's worth like $50 billion. You could buy. He probably could have bought the whole arena if he wanted it.
He could have, but I don't know how those tickets were available. All of them together like that. You know what I mean?
That's tough. Oh yeah, the owner bought his tickets. Blah blah blah. Oh, we're losing by 30.
Oh,
that was terrible. I will also say this: if who would be most likely? I'll say Malik Monk. If Malik Monk ever does what Russell Westbrook did towards the end of that game,
the dunk,
to send somebody home, I'm leaving the arena because I'm just leaving there. I'm gonna go crazy and I'm leaving the arena before I pass out from excitement. I'm gone. I'm gone. I don't need to see the rest of the game. He got a technical. He yelled at the crowd saying, "Get them the hell out of here.
That's not
We
what
done.
he said.
I don't care. I don't care about that. I would lose it. I would lose. I probably wouldn't even get to the car. I'd just pass out. I was like, oh, he did it. Oh, he did it. I'd lose my mind. Shout out to Russell Westbrook. Damn. That was fire.
He sent them home.
I gotta okay, we're here. So I want to ask the question. Is Aaron Judge the best player in baseball today? Look at Jesse. He couldn't wait to get these headphones on. So
you said Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball?
Is Aaron Judge
No,
the
it's
best
Shohei.
player?
It's Shohei.
So, okay. So, do you know Aaron's numbers are better?
That's fine.
And he plays the
hold on.
field.
Follow up question.
Uh-huh.
Are we talking about right now in this season, or are we talking about just right now in professional baseball over the last handful of years?
Handful of
Like-
years.
Oh, okay.
Shohei is that dude. I'm not trying to, but that's why I said my bad. I probably should, because I saw something over the weekend where I think right now he's hitting like 412.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge hitting like 430 or something like that. And
So the number went up.
Yes.
He just got another hit. He's
Yeah,
hitting 430.
it's been like that. He's hitting 423.
God damn it. What number is it? Is it really
423?
423? Okay.
423, 11 home runs, 33 RBIs.
Okay.
And you combine that, like I know Shohei went crazy last year,
Yeah.
but Judge wasn't no slouch.
No.
And
Judge
Judge
didn't go
went
50-50.
crazy the year before too.
I mean, it's not a.
And Shohei don't play the field no.
They're the two best players in baseball.
Mhm.
That like inarguable.
Mhm.
Uh,
I think there's an argument for Judge being, but
yeah, I think there is.
You're doing it right now.
I don't know,
wrong, pal.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd
Like
say
once
he
Shohei
is.
gets back on the mound, it's over with.
if he gets back on the mound,
He will. They're working with him and stuff like that. Like that's the plan.
Big Shohei guy.
Hey, I'll
Yeah.
give you guys Barry
Yeah, what
Bonds.
the
I'll
hell's
give you
going
guys. I conceded Barry Bonds. I fought for that one. I lost. I'll give you guys Barry Bonds, but Shohei's the best player. He's the best player in baseball right
Shohei
now.
crazy. Shohei, he's crazy. But
If
he's-
Aaron Judge, if to kind of straddle the fence here,
Mhm.
if Aaron Judge is second to Shohei, it's marginally.
I could
Like, and the same would be reversed.
right.
If Shohei is second to Aaron Judge, it is so marginal.
Mhm.
Like these are the two best players. This is the Giannis Jokic conversation. Like these are the two best players in baseball.
Easily.
Probably
Easily.
easily.
Shohei right now, and it's early. We're literally a month into the season. 294, 8 home runs, 11 RBIs.
Give me that again.
Batting.
This is Aaron
294.
Judge.
This is Shohei.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shohei, 294 batting average, 8 home runs, 11 RBIs.
8 home runs, 11. Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead.
Aaron Judge, 423, 11 home runs, 33 RBIs.
Dude is batting 423 for real, like on the season.
Yes.
When you said 423, I thought you meant like, over the last 6 Tuesdays or the weird baseball stat where there's like 20 pre-qualifiers to it.
Yeah. Nah,
Okay.
He going crazy.
Here's what. Okay, if he maintains that through the season, that settles the. If the man bats 423 on the season, you win.
Last season, Shohei, obviously at the 50-50 season, he was 310 with the 50 home runs, right? Aaron Judge last year was 322. He's 322 with 58 home runs. Am I reading this right? 58 home runs. Yeah, in 2024. 144 RBIs. Aaron Judge last year. Shohei 310, 54 with 130.
I mean, we're witnessing something special when it comes to.
And I'm not saying he's a Gold Glover, but he plays the field. I look at that where it's like, that kind of matters. But Shohei, I don't want to make an argument against Shohei because he's unbelievable. Unbelievable. He just plays for one of the worst organizations in sports. That's all.
No, he plays for he's not on the Angels anymore.
No, he plays for one of the worst organizations.
No,
don't be disrespectful to what's the guy's name? The owner.
Zorb? Oh,
No,
what?
The owner of the
Magic
Angels.
Johnson.
No.
Oh, the Angels. I have no idea who the owner
It's
of the Angels is.
it's like Arthur. No, it's not Arthur. Well, anyway, don't be disrespectful to him.
Owner of the. Does anyone
Artie.
know?
Is it Artie?
I don't know. Why would I know?
Artie Moreno.
Artie Moreno.
Artie Moreno. Look at the. Come on, hey, bro.
Los Angeles.
Claude Lemieux and Artie Moreno. Stop
Claude.
playing with me.
Claude. Oh, Claude.
Artie Moreno, who wants Anaheim back in the name,
Why does he look like?
and he wants a new stadium.
He sounds like he wants a lot.
Yeah.
Why does he look so similar to Arthur Blank?
Wait, what?
Doesn't he look like Arthur Blank?
Let me see. Let me
Do
see.
we know that
Hold
these are
on.
two different people?
Hold on, Artie Moreno. I don't even know if I spelled his name right.
Hold on. Now I need to do an image search because these could just be. Oh, come on, man! This guy looks like
he
Arthur
does.
Blank.
Yeah, he does have a little Arthur Blank to him. He's got a lot of Arthur Blank to him.
That's Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons and the Angels. Arthur Blank, Atlanta and Anaheim. That's how this guy rolls.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. That's a 10.
That's absolutely a 10. That is absolutely a 10.
Oh man.
Man.
But yeah, sorry, I saw that I saw Judge's numbers over the weekend. That's what made me, and I had to double
that's
check. So I said,
crazy.
is he hitting what?
Oh, wait till he gets to West Sacramento.
Well, this is John
man's
Fister.
That
He's been waiting to see this.
That man's batting average is going to go up to 510 after that series.
And I think it's going to be in the 90s this weekend. That ball's going to fly out.
I think it's going to be in the 90s on Saturday. I think
Saturday.
Yeah. Does it cool off a little bit Sunday?
Big time on Sunday, 75.
Yeah, I need that to chill. I see Manny Chatty House after party noting Tyrese was garbage for 3 quarters. 1, he wasn't garbage. 2, it doesn't matter. That man went out there and won the game. Jalen Brunson was asked for 3 quarters. What'd he do? He went out there and won the game. Couldn't hit with any high rate of consistency for 3 quarters, but the clutch player of the year did what? Got clutch. Tyrese scores 11 points in the final quarter. I'm not going to ridicule him from that. Give me a break. This is the second time, and hey, this is why it's so impressive to me. Admittedly, I'm a little jaded on this because I didn't think Tyrese had this in him. Not on this stage. Even when we were watching the Bucks game, the overtime joint, watching that. Casey watching that one, and we're watching that one together during the KSFM show. I don't know, Tyrese ain't gonna take it because that was last year. Tyrese, what's he gonna do? Draw the defense, make the right play, find an open man, dish it off, do what he got to do. That's what Tyrese is gonna do. What Tyrese do against Milwaukee? He took it to the rack against Giannis Antetokounmpo twice. Man, some people may hold a little bitterness to Tyrese Haliburton because he was traded and maybe some of the things that were said afterwards, or maybe just a jilted lover, whatever it is. Ty's the truth. And I'll say this too. Tyrese is, I don't know if better is the right descriptor, but it's the one I'll use. Tyrese is better than I thought he would be. I didn't think Tyrese could close playoff games like this. I didn't think Tyrese could close a playoff series against Giannis Antetokounmpo the way that he did.
Doing it with Heath too.
He's comfort.
There's just Mr. Clutch, I guess.
He looks comfortable in those moments. Never thought that he would be. Never thought that he would be comfortable in those moments. Never thought that he'd be skittish. Never thought that he wouldn't be able to find his man, to lead his offense, to facilitate, to do the right thing. But to decide, nope, it's me. What'd he do? He got that offensive rebound, dribbled back, assessed. Go back and watch this. He assessed the floor for a split second, saw that shot and took it. I saw something on Reddit that made its way back to Twitter that Tyrese is 10 of 11. What's the stat I have?
No, 10 of 11. Yeah, I saw the tweet, not the
He's
Reddit one.
10 of 11 in shots to tie or take the lead in the last 2 minutes of games this season. 10 of 11. Tyrese is legit. I'll still watch that Prize Picks lineup. I'll still watch that more or less with Tyrese. But if you got a close game, if the Pacers are within a possession or two headed into the final 60, 70, 80 seconds, yeah, I'm watching Tyrese. That work yesterday was impressive. That work against Milwaukee is impressive. And this moment that Tyrese is having is impressive to me. Now, here's the scary part, I think, for Cleveland, is they're down 2-0. They lost both games at home. You saw that Cleveland crowd die yesterday. Now, you're headed to Indiana with a couple of games there. You got to get, I mean, you got to get one, bring the series back. You are scratching and clawing to stay alive. And now you've put pressure on Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter to come back. You've put pressure on them to be back for game 3. You win game 2. You're up 20. You could do it. You win game 2. You breathe a little bit. You assess. Obviously, you want those guys back, not questioning that. But you can assess. All right. We did it without you last time. Hey, we got to do one more, and we can get one more. We got to do. Hey, y'all get back. Y'all get healthy. We got this. Now it's a DPOY. How's that ankle, big dog? You good? Little shot. Maybe wrap it up.
Yeah, throw some ankle wrap and a cortisone
Some
shot.
ice. Let's get a couple rebounds, block some shots. No, we struggling out there. And the killer is you gave up an offensive rebound to lead to that play. Your guys, it was DeAndre or it's Evan Mobley. Like that's a tough look for Cleveland. And now you go into this stretch in Indiana with extra pressure on these guys that maybe there'll be some semblance of better, but not necessarily healthy. Come game 3. That feels like a recipe for disaster for me.
Would you be shocked if they came back 2-2?
Would I be shocked if they came back 2-2? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit, just because, yeah, I'm struggling to see Cleveland. How do you give up that lead? Like under those circumstances, right? You're at home. You dropped the first one at home. But by the way, everybody dropped the first game at home.
Is it too simple to say the lights got too bright and the pressure hit?
But for who? Like Donovan,
entire Cleveland team.
Donovan been here before.
Maybe that is too simple. Like Indiana made plays. Aaron Nesmith flew in on a missed free throw or whatever, put back, hit that in there.
Yeah.
They're drawing offensive fouls, like all that stuff. Indiana just took that game, if anything.
Part of me wonders, and I've got to go back and look at what the series record was between these two during the season, or I should say the season record, not the series record. Are they surprised by the Pacers defense? Like that's one thing that like I feel like they thought they were going to be in some sort of like 140, 142 shootout. And I mean, 120 isn't low scoring by any stretch of the imagination, but Cleveland they look flat-footed, and to have that fourth quarter, that's tough. Like I don't want to say they did everything right for 3 quarters, but they put themselves in a really good spot. Had a huge fourth quarter, exactly what that crowd needed. exactly what the crowd needed, exactly what the team needed, exactly what everyone in Cleveland needed. A massive first quarter. Got that. All right. Leveled out a little bit in the second. No problem. Still a good lead at halftime. And a solid, kind of fist fight in the third quarter. And then they went to sleep. You can't go to sleep. You can't go to sleep in a playoff game. You can't go to sleep against the Pacers because the Pacers can keep scoring. They'll keep finding new ways to score. And this team, especially with the absence of Darius Garland, it's Donovan Mitchell time. And you saw that. Donovan had 48 last night. Donovan shot 21 free throws last night. Donovan was all over the court last night. You got good performances from Max Strus, my man Jared Allen, one of my favorite players on this team. But they didn't have enough offense to get him the rest of the way. Shout out to Sam Merrill, Sacramento Kings legend. Or maybe it was Stockton Kings legend.
A little bit of both, I think.
Yeah.
So coming out of that game, how do we feel about Cleveland? We kind of talked about it yesterday. What would be the story? I kind of said it'd be all about the Pacers, but
so
Cavs are down 2-0 right now. Are we?
Nah, you said that, and I think you're right. I think the story is the Pacers, not Cleveland. And I think every reason that you laid out that would be the case is 100% accurate. People just don't care about the Cavs.
Yeah,
you
not even talking trash. It's just
they just don't
we saw
care.
it in real time.
It's like you had the Atlanta Hawks, comparisons of a handful of years ago. Not the Trae Young version, but the Mike Budenholzer version. Yeah. You had that 60-win comp there all season long. No one bought Atlanta then. No one bought Cleveland then. No one cared about Atlanta then. No one cares about Cleveland now. But the icing on the cake, so to speak, is the way that game ended. That game ended with a buzzer-beating 3 from an emerging star in the NBA. And that makes the story surrounding the Indiana Pacers a little bit bigger and the ability to ignore the Cleveland Cavaliers a little bit easier. And the fact that you have those injuries that we discussed. The fact that you have, Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland, the fact that you have those guys out, that makes it a little bit easy to almost kind of dismiss them. So, hey, you like that. There's not a lot of, I doubt Tim Legler's doing a lot of deep analysis on the Cleveland Cavaliers today, given, you got some good scoring from Max Strus, Jared Allen. Obviously, you had a great night from Donovan Mitchell. You needed a few guys to make just a couple of plays. That's it. You didn't need guys to make huge plays. You didn't need guys to play way above their head. You needed guys to just make a couple of plays for you. And outside the guys I just named, they weren't able to do that. Darius would have. Evan Mobley would have. DeAndre Hunter, they would have. Again, didn't have to be 20, 30, 40-point performances. Didn't have to be 48 like Donovan Mitchell had. You needed something from those guys. And it's tough. Like, hey, Dean Wade, we need a little something. Because this Pacers team scores a lot. This Pacers team is good defensively. Donovan worked, man. I'll give Donovan Mitchell a ton of credit. 30 shot attempts yesterday. 21 free throws yesterday. Like and there are people who may want to complain about that. Yo, Donovan knew the assignment. What else are you going to do? Your other scorers are out. What else are you going to do? That's what you got to do. But the moment was about Tyrese Haliburton. And I think Tyrese is on his way to becoming a bigger star than I think I realized. He's already a better player than I realized, even in terms of, I don't think his numbers are drastically different, like year over year or anything like that. But if you see that this team, at least in my opinion, this team is improved. And I think I can make the argument they're improved substantially over last year's team. And you have him just blossoming on the national stage. you have him blossoming against Giannis Antetokounmpo. That clip of him driving against Giannis twice in regulation and in overtime, that clip's going to be on Ty's highlight reel forever. What we saw last night against the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers, I have to remind myself of that. Boston wasn't the top seed. It was Cleveland. The top-seeded 64, I think, win Cleveland Cavalier team.
If he gets to the finals, he'll have an all-time playoff resume.
Yeah, that offensive rebound into that step-back three, that'll be played forever. And you could really finish it off by getting further. Now, you're approaching, of course, they've got 2 more games to win against Cleveland, but you're and the Celtics, for that matter, have 4 to win against New York. But you're knocking on the door of just being right back where you were last year. And I don't know, we talk about emerging as a superstar and guys that can take that next step, whether it's Anthony Edwards or Tyrese Haliburton, emerging into, the cover boy, the face of the league, whatever you want to call it. Those 2 teams losing the conference semifinals again, that's not happening. Like, these moments are great for Tyrese, for sure. But if they get to where they got last year and in the scenario I'm presenting, wind up losing to the same team, I don't think Ty gets anything out of that except a couple of great highlights. For, to steal the Cody Rhodes analogy, for Ty to finish that story, he didn't even have to win an NBA championship.
Next year?
You know what Mike Tomlin's plus 500 thing is? It's the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak.
Don't do that. Taker's streak meant a lot more than that.
What if, like Taker? I mean, occasionally he did along the way, won titles, but like he was never like really. He had a couple runs as the champion or whatever, but it was like he was never the champion. The streak is what made him special.
Yeah,
I feel like Mike Tomlin's streak, that's what makes him special.
Streak is like fraudulent at this point.
How so?
It's like do something. Like, this is your only trick. Do something else. Like win a playoff game. Like actually try at
How
quarterback.
many times has he actually failed in the playoffs? Like maybe once or twice? Like he's getting to the playoffs with 9 and 7 teams, and like what's he supposed to do?
Well, then fire the GM or something, because it's not working.
They don't fire people there.
Well, they should. They should. Throw me in there. I will fire everybody.
I mean, look, Jesse's kind of got a point. Like, I like Mike Tomlin, but you can't just keep losing.
The streak was cool after the first
You've
5
hated
times.
black coaches since this show started 5 years ago.
Ty Lue is my
There
man.
is somewhere
Don't
a
do
clip
that.
of you trashing Ty Lue.
Ty Lue is my
I
man.
can't find it, but it might have been before we were on video, but I know it exists.
People who talk about coach, he had him ready to play in Game 7, didn't he? But look, it's not his fault. It was Jim's fault.
Did you just take a shot at Ty Lue?
No, I said it was Jim's fault.
Jim?
Yeah.
Jim Harden?
I used to, when I was mad at
Jimothy?
When I was mad at Canelo Alvarez for not taking a fight or doing something, I would say, I can't call you Canelo. Your name is Saul. That's what we're going to call you. James Harden, you ruined the Clippers' chances with that typical performance. You can't be James. You're Jim.
James?
To answer
Jimothy?
To answer your question here,
Can I call you Jim?
I remember that one.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Shut up.
Just get on with your
talking.
point,
Michael
man.
Scott was talking to him, and it was a sensitivity training episode.
All right, man.
Getting better. Now he's throwing out keywords and stuff.
That's
man.
all it is. That's all it
And it's
is.
like every 5th episode,
That's
he
it.
has a sensitivity training.
Damn,
Well, it's still better than what he said earlier.
Yeah, that was yeah. Yeah, and then Michael Scott did 9-10 years of jail after that.
Yeah.
I don't know like where to start. I mean, maybe I'm starting at a certain place to fit my argument, or I don't even have an argument. I'm just presenting the facts.
Okay.
But lost in the wild card round, 12-4. Lost in the wild card round, 11-5. Lost in the divisional round, 10-6. Lost in the conference championship, 11-5. Lost in the divisional round, 13-3. Lost in the wild card, 12-4. Lost in the wild card, 9-7. Lost in the wild card back-to-back seasons, 10-7. It's a lot of double-digit wins.
Not good.
Yeah.
So what do? You fire him?
No, but maybe he's leaning on this this Undertaker streak a little too much.
He's not leaning on it.
Well, you never know. Maybe
I've
coaches a
never
certain
heard him
way.
reference it before.
Well, you never
What
know. He
is
might be
what is their
coaching.
philosophy then at quarterback? That I would
Now,
love to
is
know.
that a Mike Tomlin philosophy or is that the philosophy of the organization?
I doubt that Mike Tomlin's been doing this for however long, going through trash quarterback after trash quarterback, and just like, oh yeah, like I'm cool. Like they have to be in on it together. I'm sure, like some type of plan. Like at some point you'd have to hear like, oh yeah, Mike Tomlin's unhappy because they keep giving him Duck Hodges or Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett or insert whoever.
Who's the Steelers general manager?
Omar Khan, I believe.
I didn't think you would know it off the top of your head.
That's
like that.
that's
Producer,
phenomenal.
bro.
No,
knowledge.
that's good. I didn't think you'd know it off the top of your head like that.
I'm
I'm looking to see. Now, this
Jesse
doesn't mean
Schefter.
anything. Again, I get it. It doesn't. He doesn't appear to have any other title except the head coach.
Oh, it's time to ask for a
Well,
little more
complain.
power.
Say something then. Be like, yeah, like complain. Do something.
All right.
But the original point was, I do trust him if he's ready to move on from.
It's
a
crazy.
player.
That man won a Super Bowl his second year.
That was his second year.
Second year.
Wow.
Yep.
Shout out to Mike Tomlin, man.
Should have drafted
Big ups to him.
Shador.
He should have.
Went to
Absolutely.
I would have took that over Aaron Rodgers.
won the Super Bowl his second year. Went to the Super Bowl his third year. I'm not sure if he's seen it since.
No, he hasn't.
Justin Madden, probably.
James doesn't even know what we're talking about.
Word.
James Ham or Jim Ham is.
Oh no, he comes through in Game 7. He's James.
Jimothy.
Yeah.
James Ham with us here, our insider from the Insiders. James, can you clarify this? I don't feel like it should be, but it became a social media thing yesterday. Is or is not Bobby Jackson joining Doug Christie's staff?
That's a good question. I think, the way that I had heard it, hey, it looked like Bobby Jackson's getting close, right? So we talked about it yesterday on the show, right at the 11 o'clock hour, that look, it sounds like Mike Woodson is almost a done deal and that Bobby Jackson is super close to getting done, or super close to returning. That's how I phrased it when we talked about it yesterday. And, then I poked around a little bit more yesterday afternoon. And the answer that I got was, hey, nothing is signed with any coach yet outside of Doug. Doug is still compiling his list. And so, yeah, I'm not sure where we are at this point. To be honest with you, just because it's not a done deal today doesn't mean it can't be a done deal this afternoon or tomorrow. But the fact that Jason Anderson's reporting that they haven't even had a conversation, I think is interesting.
So what the hell happened?
I don't want to speak for nobody, but Sean has done this a really long time.
Yeah.
I know if my sorry ass can pick up the phone and text Bobby Jackson, I feel like Sean could do the same thing. Like Sean didn't just pull this out of the atmosphere and tweet it. So I don't know. Maybe this is I don't know, James. I don't know. This is weird. It started on Twitter because I'm sorry. It started on Instagram because I think Leo Cowbell posted a graphic. And Bobby responded to it like, what the hell? Nobody told me.
He said, what the hell?
And we were like, wait, what? What is this? And now I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Sean doesn't usually mess his stuff up. And I heard the same thing that I, not as definitive as what Sean put out there, but we were talking about it before Sean tweeted. We had started talking about it on the show yesterday before. But again, I didn't say for sure 100% it's a done deal. Bobby Jackson's, welcome back to Sacramento. It was still hey, it's not done yet, but this is something that sounds like it's probably going to happen. I'm intrigued. Again, if Bobby wants to come back to Sacramento, I'm sure he does. I mean, Like, to be honest with you, I believe a lot of his. I don't know that everyone that his family packed up and moved to Philadelphia for the last year. So it would not surprise me if he wanted to come back to Sacramento, especially to coach alongside Doug, who's a really, really close friend of his. But that's the problem right now. You got to be careful. Like, I was able to confirm yesterday without any question that BJ Armstrong has joined the organization. And I was not able to confirm either Mike Woodson or Bobby Jackson when I was reaching out to sources within the walls yesterday.
And one of the things about what Sean said and what Leo said, which was Leo just kind of, he just was reporting what Sean reported, is the word will return. You know what I mean? And I think that's where Bobby may have, like, hold on, I don't know about that. Like, he didn't go into detail, and obviously I don't know. He might have been, I didn't talk. There's people that have asked me about my interest. I'm interested. But done deal? Nah, I don't know nothing about a done deal. There's so many different things they got to do. They, as far as I knew, they still had to get permission, right? And maybe they have. That doesn't necessarily have to be reported. But they still got to go through steps to even be able to talk to Bobby Jackson, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the way it works is if you're interested in somebody, you have to, and they're under contract with another team, you have to call that team and have a conversation with the team and say, hey, is it okay if you have to seek permission. And if they say yes, you can have permission to speak to him. Then you go from there. But that doesn't mean, like, look, Doug Christie and Bobby Jackson have been really, really good friends for, I don't know, 20 something years, close to 25 years. So, like, look, if they're having conversations, like basic conversations as just two dudes, that's different than, asking permission and all that stuff. Even if they were to have some sort of hypothetical conversation. And again, I don't know if that's happened. What you don't want to do is get caught tampering or anything else with somebody else's coach and run into that problem. But it just feels like, whatever reason, like, we all got a lot of news yesterday. We all got a lot of sources saying that it was close or that it was about to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. And it doesn't sound like it's as close as a lot of us have heard.
You mentioned the BJ Armstrong thing. What do you think about that? Obviously, someone who has seemingly pretty good ties, pretty close ties to Scott Perry.
Yeah, I mean, those guys have good ties, and that's what you want. You want someone who that Scott Perry that feels really comfortable with, right? He needs to build out his staff with someone like BJ, who not only has been, was a player, but then went into a front office and worked for Jerry Krause for a few years after he retired from the game, and then has been an agent since like 2006. So, like, BJ Armstrong has ties all around the league. And this is a big deal because, like, look, one of the problems I think the Kings had in the last regime, and even the regime before that with Vlade and those guys, is just the basic ties around the league to make easy phone calls, to touch base with people, to have the Bobby Jackson conversation before you have the Bobby Jackson conversation, right? Like, but with actual trades and players and everything else, there's always a way that you can have a generalized conversation with somebody that doesn't get leaked to the media, that doesn't end up, aggregated 5 million times that the Kings are closing in on Cam Johnson or whatever. There's a way that you can do that without, going through dangerous, sort of obvious avenues. And when you start accumulating multiple guys like that, guys who, again, BJ Armstrong, as a player's agent and working for Wasserman, like, I mean, he has ties everywhere, right? And Scott Perry has ties everywhere. I feel like the last couple of years, the Kings had run out of some of these ties. And, Alvin Gentry has some of those ties, right? But maybe Wes Wilcox didn't have as many ties around the league as you would hope. Maybe Monty McNair, again, didn't have a bunch of ties around the league that made sense. So I think bringing in guys like this is a good thing. And I did get confirmed this morning that it does appear that Alvin Gentry will be back again and will remain.
The damn
There
air
we
horn.
go.
Alvin.
Yes, sir.
Alvin needs a lifetime deal with Sacramento. What's Alvin do? I don't know. I just want to see him courtside.
Cool cat. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
You
I
know,
believe that's on his office.
Adds to the vibes.
Yep.
That's what he does, man. I'm with you, James. I think the BJ Armstrong thing, like to get as many of those people in the building is a plus. And yesterday I talked about, or on Twitter at least, I talked about how, the NBA and just like life is about relationships and who you know a lot of the times. And that's a great thing to have in your building if you're the Sacramento Kings, something that we haven't seen, like you mentioned, in recent years. And a lot of people kind of short-sighted or well, look at his client list, like he didn't represent anybody. That's not what it's about. It's about being able to be in those rooms, have those conversations, have those relationships. You talked about who he worked for. There's a Wasserman
Media Group.
Like he can go, if everything left on good terms, he can go back to them and talk about potential free agent trades, whatever, or just inquire. And just having that knowledge, that type of lifeline in the building, I think is very, very important to go along with what you got with Scott Perry.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, the Kings just need to figure out a way to connect with themselves to the rest of the league in a positive way. And I'm not saying that Monty and West didn't do that. But again, I think I've told you guys this, and I mentioned it on the show earlier. Wes said one time, like, a third of the league loves me, a third of the league I'm totally cool with, and a third of the league probably doesn't love me. And he's like, and that's kind of a good thing, because you don't want everybody loving you, because then you're, if you can't spot the sucker in the room, it's because you're the sucker, so it is good that there are people in the league that, have
Wes
maybe had
Wilcox would tell himself some stuff like that.
well, I mean, but at the same time, I do get it. There is, you don't have to be liked by everybody in the league, because not every deal went the right way, and, like most teams, there's usually a winner and a loser to every trade. And you want to be on the winning side as many times as possible, but you also don't want to just get a reputation as a guy who always wins every trade, because you don't want to get involved if you think you're going to lose. And so, yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I think this is a good start, and I don't think they're done. We still don't know if, like, Phil Jabbar is back. Phil Jabbar is back. Paul Johnson, we've heard, is back. But Phil Jabbar is like their head of scouting, and I think he's a VP of player personnel or something. And that's a big deal. I mean, you need a scouting director, somebody who, again, has sources all over the league and can get you information on potential draft picks and stuff that maybe you don't have. And again, with a guy like BJ Armstrong, like, when you're going through the draft process, and we talked a little bit about this, I think, on Monday, right? When you go through the draft process, the Kings have reopened the doors. So they had 6 prospects come through on Monday. For whatever reason, Wes Wilcox and Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox made the decision to close their doors to prospect workouts. So we didn't go in and see who's coming through Sacramento, interview players and all that stuff. And I think it really hurt the Kings. Like, it's just like free publicity, right? Like, the whole summer, like, why would you close your doors when, just because it's May, that doesn't mean you're not still trying to sell season tickets, right? You want your name in the press as much as possible. And when you have 6 prospects come through, even if nobody knows who any of them are, that still doesn't, I mean, KCRA, Fox, CBS 13, Channel 10, they show up with cameras every time. Like, it goes on the 6 o'clock and the 11 o'clock news and keeps your product in front of everything. You're out there, everyone is seeing it. And to close that off to media was, like, really, really short-sighted. And the reason why I bring this up with BJ Armstrong is that while BJ didn't have a bunch of top tier clients, he does have a lot of these other types of clients, and he knows a lot of the guys that had clients like him. So if you want to start getting in all these prospect workouts and saying, hey, like, can we get your guys to come through Sacramento to compete? You know, we got an early second round pick. A lot of them will go, no, we're okay. Because, you know, what's the value of it? They're going to go to Sacramento and no one's going to know they even came in the door. Like, part of this is getting your client's name out there. It's why we hear, you know, coaches attached to the Kings job right now, because somebody wants that client name out there. And so I think it is a good thing to have a guy like BJ, and a guy, again, this is Scott Perry. You know, he did an exhaustive search the last time the Kings had, well, when he was here in 2017, and they had so many prospect workouts, it was crazy. And they got almost everyone into Sacramento. You know, it was, they did a really good job of touching base with everybody and getting players, and whether it was just for a dinner meeting or whether it was for, you know, full workout, a solo workout, or a 6-man workout, whatever, they did a really, really good job of like putting their like feelers out and bringing people in the building. And it's not always about like whether you're going to draft somebody that year. It's about 2 or 3 years from now when that player might be a free agent or might come up in trade conversations, and you're like, man, we had a really, really good meeting with player X, and, you know, he was great. We went out to dinner. We just got a good feel for him. And if he's available in this deal, I would prefer him over this other guy that we don't really know. And so that's why these things matter, you know, to have as many prospect workouts, but also to open your doors so they become part of the draft process in Sacramento.
And that's probably true for the agents too, right? Not just meeting with different players, but like you're meeting with those representatives as well. And it's not just that player that you're talking about. You can talk about their roster of players.
Well, that, and I mean, a lot of it is just doing favors for people. And you know, like, hey, we'll get your guy in here. We're probably not going to draft him, but we'll get him in here. And people are like, why would that help you? It's like, well, like, what if that agent has another player who, you know, whether it's a top tier player or it's even a guy that is an undrafted free agent, like, you want to be really high on the list. If you call and say, hey, you know, that Keon Ellis kid, we had a good workout, we really like him. He didn't get drafted tonight, but what do you guys think about a 2-way contract? And we'll lock him up.
Mm-hmm.
That matters when you already have the relationship with the player, when you already have the relationship with the agent. Like, it's not just as cut and dry as whether you had players through or you didn't have players through. Like, it's very complicated. And I think that the Kings are doing a better job of, you know, getting their brand name out there in a different way this season.
Man, I really don't want to kick Monty's back in on the way out, but
he's already out. It's okay. He's not on the way. He's already gone.
But it's just little things like this, little ways of understanding how to move around this league, maneuver around this league are glaring. The differences are glaring. And not just Monty and West. To be honest with you, now thinking about it, Vlade Divac as well, first-time guy. Like you mentioned, like, it's just the little intricate game, so to speak, that you got to play around this league that I think James is frozen. That we didn't see with those guys that we see.
No, James is absolutely frozen. James is 100% frozen. 321. If anyone had 321, James is thawed out. He's never amused by this. We always are. 10 times out of 10.
Every time, man, especially when I realized the facial expression didn't change. I was like, oh, he's frozen.
Mm-hmm. James is listening really intently to what Kenny is saying right now.
But James, just for a synopsis of what I was saying, it's just with Monty and West, with Vlade Divac, it's night and day understanding the little intricacies of maneuvering around this NBA between what we saw with those first-time guys that maybe didn't have the same relationships around the league and experience around the league compared to a guy like Scott Perry, who's done this as a head guy or an assistant guy. It feels like a handful of times now, or a handful of different franchises at this point. Like, he knows how to maneuver.
Yeah, I mean, I think Monty and West should have been like they had players come through, right? We just like to hide it just never made any sense. So like Devin Carter came into Sacramento and worked out like last off season. Like they had a conversation with him, they had met him, they had all that stuff. So, but it's the sheer volume of players that I think is something that actually matters. You know, we talked about it. Again, I think it's a 2019 NBA draft. The Kings had like I think it was 99 prospects come through, and then they had Kyle Guy come through three times. So it ended up being like, you know, I don't know, 14 or 15 workouts for all of us to go to. And was it a lot? Yeah, it's a lot, you know, but that's part of the job is to like when they do these things is to go out there and, you know, again, this last workout on Monday, like there's a kid with Sacramento ties, like a kid who grew up here. Like that's a good story for, again, the 11 o'clock news. Is it a story that, you know, writers are writing around town? No, but it's a good story for, you know, a 30-second news hit. And those things actually matter when you're trying to sell tickets, when you're trying to build something. So I think this is a good thing. We'll have to see, you know, if they continue to do it this way. But I just think that like, year one of Monty, it was like an open door. Year two was like half the prospect workouts we weren't invited to. Year three, it was like, screw those guys. We're not going to do this anymore with the media. And it's like, oh, that was it. You know, we got during the pandemic, we got all the prospect workouts via Zoom, or at least a good portion of them, which was really, really awkward and odd. But those things matter. And so hopefully we're just seeing a new era of Kings basketball that's different. It's not as restrictive because that doesn't help anybody. It really doesn't.
I want to ask James one more thing about that because he mentioned something that did Monty, because he was a first-time guy, did he never, how do I put this? Did he never adjust to not being in the COVID era anymore? Because when he came in, it was the COVID era where it was Zoom and you're not talking to these reporters anymore. And then once we got out of that, was it like, well, this is how I came in the game doing it. We just keep doing it this way. I feel like that's not giving him credit for being in the league as long as he had been before. Like he had no idea how these things went down, but you kind of mentioned it. He never left the COVID era with how he went about things. Was that kind of how you saw some of the ways he moved with the information that was given out?
You know, that's a good point. Like, first of all, Monty is a lot more comfortable in like that setting. You know, he's a lot more comfortable not stepping up and standing in front of cameras and answering questions. You know, even it's the same question 8 times in a different way. He doesn't particularly, that wasn't his forte, right? And the fact that it probably was Wes's forte to have those conversations, but the power structure within was that Monty was here and Wes was right below him on the pecking order. I think it probably lent itself to some awkwardness, and I thought Monty got better at times, and was like more honest and upfront and felt more comfortable in front of the camera. But it could be something as simple as like they didn't do it because they just didn't feel the value of it. They didn't understand the value of it. They didn't appreciate the value of it. And, you know, maybe like, again, maybe I'm just crazy and off base, but like it sure did feel like, you know, free advertising for your franchise. And for them to not like even attempt to do it, to try, to me always just felt weird. And not only that, but to at least at one point it was like, hey, you know, we had these 6 guys come through camp if you want to put that out there. And then they would go to a different reporter and say, hey, we had a couple of guys through this week. This is who came through. It's like that's not good enough. Like, let us talk to those players. Let us be in the building. Let us sit here and roll cameras and everything else, because that's part of the process. And so, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it is like the COVID era. They never recovered because nothing is the same since the COVID era. Like you go in the locker room now and pregame, and there's maybe one or two players, and a lot of times it's the same players. So I know like Jake LaRavia would come in, like Markelle Fultz would sit in the locker room, but a lot of guys don't, and that's just not the way it used to be. Used to be you walk into a locker room in pregame and there's 5 or 6 players and they're all, hanging out and just, like chatting with each other. And that's just not the way it is anymore. And the same thing for postgame. The whole bring 2 players to the podium and then a coach to the podium. And that 30-minute window gives every single player that isn't going to the podium an opportunity to leave. That's not the way it was either. It used to be like a really quick coaching interview, and then we'd all race to the locker room and sit there and interview whoever we could in the locker room. And also, just so people understand, it changes the dynamic. If there's 8 guys in the locker room and a scrum goes over and talks to one of those guys, if you're someone who's writing a different story and doesn't care about that and doesn't care about the game coverage that night, you can go and hit 2 or 3 other players while that scrum's happening and get one-on-one information that you can then craft a story. All of that's gone. So, and a lot of it is COVID, but a lot of it is just like not
changed.
I mean, it's changed.
One more time for that springtime weather. Hey. Yeah. We welcome you in here to the Thursday, May 8th edition of D-Lo and KC. I'm Damian Barling.
The ultimate needle mover in God mode himself.
He's Kenny Caraway.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, God, peace, King. Peace, King. Vibe. You know what I mean?
Nah, what are you so happy for? You're not even a Knicks fan. You don't even know what I'm going through right now, what I'm feeling. You don't even know. You're faking right now. Faking out here. Meanwhile, I'm struggling. Game ends yesterday. I can't even talk right now. I've been sad since, 7 o'clock yesterday? But no, Kenny's all happy, whatever. Fake. I need a second.
That man said, I need a second. All right. Well,
yeah, hey, 125th Street, you know what I'm saying? You know the vibes, baby. Hey, Uptown, Shaolin, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, you know the vibes, baby. Let's go in playing. Let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah. 117th Street, 34th Ave, you know what it is. You know what I mean? 58 and Turnbuckle, you know the vibes. Yeah. Come on, Fat Joe, we see you, Bill. Hey, Joe Button, we see you, boy. You know what I mean? Ben Stiller, we see you. Loso, case you ain't know so, you know the vibes, baby. Mellow, you know what it is, baby. Stay mellow. You heard? Yeah. Shout out to the young bulls out there. You know the vibes, man. Bobby Schmurda, I see you, boy. You know what I mean? 5-0, you know what it is, Montana. You know what it is. I see you, boy.
Whoa. You really repping Bobby Schmurder after that story that came out
Well,
yesterday?
10 tickets per city.
Really? Is that the one you want to? Are you sure that's the route you want to go?
Shout out Nicki Minaj. You know the vibes, man. Hey, you know what it is. Young Money, Cash Money. You know what I mean? Tony Yayo, what up, boy? Lloyd Banks, what up, boy?
You done, dude? Are you done? I can't believe they lost. How do you choke? Jason Tatum, where the hell are you at? Oh, yesterday. Oh, yeah. Jason Tatum is better than Paul Pierce. KC, the lights weren't too bright. No, he's fine. I'm an idiot. I'm a dummy. On Monday. Yeah, I think Jason Tatum really gets overlooked. No, he's not as good as Tim Duncan, but he gets overlooked like Tim Duncan. No, what does he do?
Oh.
How do you go scoreless for 8 minutes of the fourth quarter?
I hate it had to be my guy. That's really my boy.
You mean Jesse or Jason Tatum?
Well, Jesse, my boy, too, but Tatum, my boy.
You guys called it. I say, as soon as he messed up that dribble at the free throw line, I knew it was cooked.
Oh, my gosh.
It was cooked.
Oh, my gosh. All of a sudden, he can't dribble. Luke Walton, you're just trying to get him dribble 2 times. That's what we're trying to do with Mitchell Robinson on him. Oh, man.
Didn't even take a shot, by the way, too. Tried passing it out.
Yeah, tried passing it. and got the pass block.
I'm not gonna lie, like that's probably the worst loss in like the last 5 years for them. Top 5 loss, I'll say. Game 1 was whatever. You lose game 1, that's fine. You choke like that in game 2 the same way. Like after you've already won a title, so you're supposed to be past all of this.
Mm.
And you've like Tatum folded, Jaylen Brown folded, but like I could care less about the rest of the Celtics. Like Tatum is the one supposed to lead this. He folded so bad yesterday. Like he's the head of the snake. Blah blah blah. He's got to wear that.
Oh man, there's a lot to unpack here. Cause damn. Well, we got a super chat. Super chatty house.
I'll read this
Tatum
one
and Brown
from Taz. Yeah, Tatum and Brown played like ass the last 2 games. LOL. $2. Thank you. It sucks, bro.
My bad. I mean, put it back up. Oh man. Look, man. Look. All right. I don't even know where to start. Dame, what you think, bro? I don't even know where to start.
I just feel bad because I asked Jesse to do like 5.
Oh, you were
things.
trying to be funny this morning too, by the way.
Who was?
I think you were. Yeah. What? Hey, text Keith Smith. All right, I'll do that.
No.
Hey, Keith's busy. Oh, yeah, Keith's too busy covering the Celtic disaster.
Oh, he did.
Why you do me like that?
No, I didn't. That wasn't it.
Why
You.
me?
No. You know that the Celtics are a disaster. Oh man, I didn't know it was gonna hit you this hard.
We're going through it right now.
Yeah, no, I see
Hey,
that.
I woke up at like 2:30 last night. Damn, Celtics lost. It's bad. It's bad.
Now, see, this is
That wasn't a shot. I was trying. Hey, look, I'm a broadcast journalist. My interest is the people watching and listening. Keith, I thought would be great. He's never been on video before. See if we can get Keith in here. He prominently covers the Celtics.
You have to call it a disaster.
I did, but what do you call it? What do
Yeah.
you call it? What do you call it?
I don't know, bro.
You blow 2 20-point leads.
I
in the first 2 games. What do you
needed
call
a
it?
friend. I need you to say it's gonna be all right.
No,
Jess.
you my man. Well,
No,
then
it was a disaster.
I don't
There's a
know
choke
that it's
job,
going to be
whatever
all
you want to put
right.
it. No, hey, like I'm a Celtics fan, but I don't feel good going into game 3 at MSG.
Kendrick Lamar said we're going to be all right. I am not.
You're gonna have to show me. I'm not calling Celtics in 6 right now. None of that. They have to win game 3 for me to have any thoughts about this series.
All right. Inside the NBA, I thought made some great points last night.
Okay.
Because Charles had been on both sides of this equation. And I think they're right.
What, a 0-2-2-0
Yeah,
equation?
with
Okay.
Phoenix, well, in 93, they were the 1 seed. I think they played the Lakers. They lost the first 2 games of the series at home. And they were down 0-2. That was a 5-game series, by the way. And he had that situation. And then I think they said they went into Houston and won the first 2
This
games
was
of that series.
93?
93, yeah, with
Wow.
yeah. Right? That's crazy, right? Like
I don't remember that at
MVP
all.
year.
Yeah.
Lakers come in and win the first 2 games in Phoenix in a 5-game series. That's crazy. And then I think it was the Mario Ellie series. I think Phoenix had gone up 2-0 in that one, and Kenny and them came back. So he's been
It's 95.
mhm,
4?
95. You're right.
95.
So you're like, yeah, he's been on both sides, and he talked about how game 3 is such a pivotal game for the Knicks. Such a pivotal, almost a must win. He said it was a must win for the Knicks.
You win, series is over.
You win,
Yeah.
series might be over. You lose,
Probably over.
Boston's like, we back. We
Oh,
back
yeah.
up. You lose game 3 if you're the Knicks. Boston's like, we back up. Because now they're going to be stressing in game 4 to get at least one of these things.
I'm sorry.
We back up.
This is Kenny Caraway or this is Charles Barkley?
Charles Barkley, but I agree.
Yeah, okay. No, I
agree.
got you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So it's a pivotal game 3. All jokes aside, I mean, the Celtics are 100% the type of team that could be just fine, losing their first 2 games at home and going on the road, winning 2, winning 1, whatever, and winning the series. They are a team that's talented enough where they're not dead until they're dead. They could be down 3-0. They could be down 3-1. I would be looking at it like it's still the Celtics. I know it's been a rough day for him. It's a rough night. He's still Tatum. They still got Brown. Derek White's still there. Maybe Porzingis, whatever's going on with him, they get his appendix out or whatever, it's happening.
He just doesn't have his wind right now.
And they can get him back on the floor. still a dangerous team. But yesterday, there's something about the Celtics team when the game gets tight that they and I think it comes from the leader, from the best player. There's a lack of poise, maybe a lack of confidence when the game gets tight that I think bleeds through that entire team. And it's something I think we've seen. Yeah, it's Tatum. And I think we've seen that in the Tatum era.
Tatum, that is Tatum's biggest. Let me ask you, Jesse. Is that Tatum's biggest shortcoming or deficiency as a star in the league? Like, because no one says that about Ant. I did say that about Tyrese. That's over. And it may have never been right, but it's over now.
That's what's holding him back, I think. Like, we were talking about it yesterday. Like I said, game 6, game 7. Kenny was right. You can count those on a hand at this point. Like when he's on. He's not missing. But he's for a superstar, you can't be as inconsistent as he is. And right now it feels like yesterday happens a lot more come playoff time. Regular season, whatever, bro. You scored 15, 20, like however many points. I could care less in the fourth quarter. Like, it's the Celtics. It's playoffs. Playoffs, like it feels like he fumbles more times than not. Elimination games, his stats are really good, but like for the superstar he's supposed to be, you can't do what you did yesterday or game 1. You should be at least 20, 23 points at the bare minimum for the superstar that you're supposed to be.
Can I play something for you guys before we go to commercial, and then we can maybe expand on this a little bit? I saw this on my way in, Dan Le Batard talking about Jason Tatum, and damn, never mind the loser that's on this screen as well as the video goes on, but just listen to Le Batard.
Are you fundamentally obligated to fall in love with Jalen Brunson right now? Because Jalen Brunson already has a moment in the last series to end it I've never seen Jason Tatum have. Give me a play Jason Tatum's made in his life more memorable than how it is that Brunson ended the Pistons. All of American sports fan expectations need to land today on the back of his neck. You are a champion, and I've almost never said this about a champion. Prove to me you deserve to be one. Because last season, do what Brunson does. Brunson's the smallest player on the court. I look at you and just physically, I know you're the best one. But what are you going to do? Oh, fade away again. Brunson got the foul shots. It's end of game time. It is end of game time. You give the ball to Brunson, Knicks fans know what's going to happen there. And when he misses a 1-foot layup, they don't even blame him because they know what he is. He's the best clutch player in the NBA empirically. Does more in the fourth quarter than anybody. Tatum? The only thing left to have on Tatum's resume, it's incredibly bejeweled for his age. Where are the moments?
Well, how many more moments? Like, he's had moments. So, like, what's the number then?
What's the first one that comes to your mind?
I mean, I'm like, not a moment, I guess, but that playoff run his rookie season, like he led the Celtics to Game 7 against LeBron.
Big deal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
That's where it starts, I guess.
This is actually one of the things that made me reach out to Keith this morning, because Keith is a very level-headed guy when it comes to talking about the team he covers. So we'll talk about this. It's really the only game to talk about. I don't know how much he actually did, but those Paul Pierce videos this morning were hilarious.
Honestly, I'm hoping that just reverses the vibes, because I'm not gonna lie, like,
bro, that was so funny.
I saw the Scalabrini clips. Paul Pierce was talking crazy. I may have been talking crazy all season long. Like, maybe we got to reverse it a bit. I'm not going anywhere, but maybe the walk had to happen.
They're starting to find him. You know, people are like finding him and linking up with him. And last I checked, about an hour ago, he's still going.
Oh, good. He really doing it. Good for him.
Get in the car, Paul.
Good for him. That's funny though.
That's 8 hours.
That man got
hilarious. 8 hours.
That man got a robe and everything on. Do it for the content. This would be the coolest thing Paul Pierce ever did.
This is hilarious though.
Like, the fact that he's really doing it is amazing.
Should I go take a walk somewhere right now? Maybe go walk back to Madison.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not as far. Just That man's walking through L.A. and I don't know if it's
Might be safer
walking
than
down
I walk.
Madison.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
ain't got to LA yet. I think he might get a.
Get an
He was
Uber.
talking about last name I saw. He was talking about going through the mountains.
All
He
right,
got
be careful.
he got the robe on and everything. I didn't see
does.
if he had the flip flops or whatever
He
on.
left it before the sun came up and everything. That was hilarious. That was hilarious.
This is the best thing. If he follows through with this, and I do not blame him if he doesn't, but if he's able to follow through with this is the coolest thing Paul Pierce ever
He
did.
did the show with Kevin Garnett, I think, was all huffing and puffing and all that, say the torn hamstring.
That's hilarious. That man mapped it with the I wonder, is it Fox that he's with?
Yeah.
I wonder
That's
if
one, yeah.
Fox hit him like, hey, you know, if you we'll have someone following you, and there's a little trailer, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. But if you want to do this, be great content.
Man, it is fantastic content. It's been killing it all morning.
This man right outside the Ralphs, just looking around. Paul Pierce is funny. He got the robe on and everything.
He's wild. Like I said, I don't know if he's barefoot or not.
Then
but
the sun
that's
comes.
funny.
One of my favorite parts is he looks around. He doesn't know where he's at. Like, he's not exactly sure. He's just kind of like looking around, like, oh, there's a little Save Mart over there or whatever it is.
You're like, man, can't believe the Celtics got me out here like this. Damn.
Kevin Garnett drove past Paul Pierce.
They starting to
Oh, that's
like I said, they starting
hilarious.
to link up with him.
I'm seeing this video for the first time. The video of Kevin Garnett is hilarious. Oh, this is great. I got to put that on the screen. What do you got pulled up? Is that something good?
Well, no. Well,
Oh, there was one video.
TNT, they did the, they did the inside tracks or whatever of like the players, talking, and they had Joe Mazzulla up trying to drop a play late in the game. This was
Come on, man. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm not gonna lie, like those make me laugh.
Those are hilarious.
There was one I saw yesterday. I was hoping you weren't gonna find, and you
They got
tweeted
Tatum?
about it this morning. And the
Oh,
security.
Oh, did you see
Security!
that the Knicks fans wouldn't leave the Garden?
That poor lady was flustered.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Pull
I
that
got
up.
that. Do they have? Is there cursing on it? I don't know.
We could play without the sound. You could see her. She's
Okay,
just,
yeah. But now they had the. Hold on. Let me pull it up because that was cold game, man. This poor lady was stressed.
Oh yeah, she was. They've never gone through that in Boston, I'm assuming.
She was stressed. Here she. Yeah, I'll play without the sound. And she was going through. Let me turn the sound off. Let me get you up here.
No?
Yeah, the Knicks fans
All right.
would not leave
That's flat, huh?
the Garden. And look at the lady. She,
Yes, this Knicks fans going crazy.
Oh, no. Oh, help.
Oh yeah, hey, you see that?
That poor woman said, help.
And look at security's
them
like,
outta
"Oh,
here."
whatever.
Oh, man, that is, that is major Karen energy right there.
Doing the security checks. Like,
Oh my God. That is major Karen energy. I want to see the video of my man right there in the front. I don't know who that
who's
guy
this
is.
video? Yeah.
I want that video. No, hold on. Lead
Let's
us
go.
up. Lead us up. No, security. No.
Security.
Hey,
Help!
help.
Help!
Oh,
Help!
no. Down she goes. Help. That woman does not get paid enough for this.
That poor lady.
That woman does not get paid enough for this. Get them out right now.
Said he pushed her. Man, that man was 5 steps away when you
Oh
this
my
chance took you down.
God. And but bro's like, man, what is wrong with you? Like, they're
Yeah, whatever,
at
man.
an arena. Shout out to boy with the 4 fingers up. That's hilarious. Knicks fans are funny.
They are hilarious.
You can't tell Knicks fans they haven't won a title in 50 years or
1973.
whatever it is.
They're hilarious. New Yorkers in general are hilarious.
New Yorkers are very
They are.
funny.
I don't know what. There's something about them. Like they all talk a lot. They're not bashful. They're loud. They're hilarious. They crack me up.
Paul Pierce, for those watching,
there goes-
like I don't know what the audio is, so I'm not gonna play it. But on his way to work.
Do we know how long ago this was?
Well, here's
there's KG.
there's Kevin Garnett. That's so funny.
Oh,
That
man.
is so funny.
Nah, Paul Pierce did his thing with this.
Nah, Paul
He
Pierce.
did his thing.
The fact that he's following through with it is a win.
He
That's
did
a big win.
He did his thing with this one. One of the trends.
That woman yelling help is
One of the trends, especially with the NBA, I think they'll probably do it with the NFL. But Jesse, you like pay attention to how I had Joe Mazzulla up there. You see how they do that? They do like Josh Hart. You see the guy on the tiny desk, and they do Jamal Murray all the time. And those things, they're so stupid and disrespectful, but they crack me up. They really do.
What
a
you were
game.
happy yesterday.
Oh man, I didn't think it was gonna happen. I didn't, but as a Knicks supporter, as somebody who is rooting for the Knicks.
You know what? Hold on to. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna pull something up.
Well, okay. Well, look, as a Knicks supporter, I really felt like, hey, because I was checking the score while I was at the doctor's office and stuff, and I was like, man, 15-point game, 12-point. Oh man, 17. Damn, it's not gonna happen today. Then they got it to 8. And well, hold on. Well, all right. Yeah,
man.
I mean, this
When did you
so
start?
Jesse-
Hold on. You were a Jordan fan in the 90s.
Yeah.
You were a Knicks supporter. I'm assuming this was 2000s.
Yeah, 2000.
Definitely
You were
2000s.
at the
I can tell
Lakers
by the size of the
parade in
shirt.
2010.
Now, see, that's where we got to
Hold on,
stop this.
sir,
I wasn't
hold
at
on.
no
I'm
damn
not done.
Lakers
I'm not
parade.
done. Hold on.
Let him finish.
When did you start being a Kings fan?
Oh,
I
good
started
question.
being
That's
a
a
Kings
good question.
In all honesty,
Mhm.
I started being a Kings fan in 95.
Wow.
You know what? Where's the jersey to prove that one?
1995.
Yeah.
Where's-
Jordan left.
You wasn't even around for Lionel Simmons and Walt Williams, and you wasn't
I went to
around
the- I
for
went to the
Wayman
games.
Tisdale and Dwayne. Oh,
Herb
so what you-
was Allison.
I was cool with it. So
say-
I'm not gonna lie to you.
no. Say what? No. Say this with me. I'm not Kings.
That's not true.
No, I'm not. No, you're not Kings.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Don't listen to
Say
this.
I'm not
That's
Kings.
not true. Now,
You
I'll
as
tell
much,
you the
you as much
dynamics.
Kings as Farhan was Giants.
Well, that guy was never Giants.
Well,
You see what happened when he's out.
some
the
people
building.
would say, "Look at what's on the screen."
Look. Back
Man.
from let's just say 88. That's when I was 5 years old. Maybe I start remembering then. 88 to 94. I was Jordan and the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan left. And I was like, man, let me rock with my hometown team. When got that Kings starter jacket, stop playing with me. Asked my mom for Christmas. I said, yo, moms, I need that Kings starter jacket. I'm Kings out here. All right. Talked to Gary St. Jean when he came to Kevin Johnson's basketball camp at Sac High. I was talking to Gary St. Jean.
Get name dropping.
You know what I mean? I was like, yo, Saint, what's good, baby? Like, we going to turn this around? He said, yeah, we got the new logo. Everything's good. He lied to me. I was like, yo, so they got to change everything in the arena. He said, all the seats and everything is now going to be purple, then black. And they weren't. They were blue and red the entire time. But I said, Saint, I'm Kings, bro. I'm here. Jordan's gone. I'm grown up now. I'm Kings. And ever since then, I've been Kings. Now, New York, hey. I'm a Knicks supporter.
What does that
Been
even
that way
mean?
for a minute. I want to see them do well. I'm not, like I mentioned, I'm not out there, in front of the garden, with all the people doing that's not me. I'm not there
'cause you live
doing
in
that.
Sacramento.
I'm not there doing that. I'm not leading a Knicks watch party here in Sacramento. I'm not doing that. It's just me and Sherlyn Elk Grove. We got love for the Knicks. We want to see them win. She's actually a Knicks fan. She likes the Knicks. I think push come to shove, she liked the Knicks more than the Warriors. She been rocking with the Knicks for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a Knicks supporter. I want to see them do well.
Why
Shout
are-
out to my man Brandon Bush, man. Shout out to Irv, man. CKM all day.
Who's that? Is that the person in the picture?
Yeah, that's my man Brandon. That's my brother. He was in my wedding. He was one of my grooms, man. Shout out to my man Brandon.
You
Bush.
wasn't at McClatchy when this picture was taken.
No.
You look
This
like
was-
a grown ass man.
I was like 22.
I was gonna say, like, ain't no way that man at McClatchy. If he is, he needs to be
He
investigated.
had a goatee at McClatchy though.
No, but that man got grown man features.
We was both like
Man,
20,
a 22-year-old senior.
The man who pays his taxes right there.
Man,
Yeah, we was about 22 at the time, man.
boy, look at that outfit.
Yeah.
Got the rock sign up and everything. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see?
Never meet your
This
heroes,
man ain't.
kids.
This man ain't Kings. This man ain't Kings.
Hey,
We already know he
no,
ain't.
no, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about
we
it.
already know he ain't 1320.
Yo, yeah,
I'm
I was gonna
definitely
say.
1320. I'm
He's
definitely
got,
king.
hey,
Stop
he's got a picture
playing.
with Dave.
Internet says otherwise.
He's got a picture with Next Leaves. You don't got a picture with us.
Y'all don't never take no picture with me.
Hey,
You guys took a picture with
so let me ask you.
with my wife before
Let-
you took a picture with
Let
me.
me ask you a question. Did Dave ask you for a picture, or
Yeah.
did you ask Dave for a picture?
I asked Dave for a picture. You know, I
See?
was just a random guy at that time.
Alleged Kings supporter, but internet says
Nah,
otherwise.
bro, it's Kings all
We
day.
need to put Kenny. How do we get
It's-
something on? What's that website? Snoops, the one that like debunks urban legends.
Oh, yeah.
We need to get somehow.
Hey.
Is Kenny Caraway a Kings fan?
What?
False with all of the evidence
Yeah.
that shows he's
Bro.
in fact not.
Look, who in this building was at the game when the roof was leaking? Your boy, I confirmed it
Bro,
with
you
Auntie
were like
Wanda.
a month old.
No, I confirmed it. I remember it.
Who
I
wasn't
confirmed
at
it with
that
Auntie
game?
Wanda. I was there. I was at the building. I was probably second, third row. She had a nice little connect.
Oh,
I
second,
was
third
there,
row
remember
game.
Probably
that.
you don't remember.
I was there. I remember it. That's why I checked. I said, "Hey, were we at that game when the roof was leaking?" She says, "Yeah, we were." I said, "Yeah, we talking about it right now on the radio."
Not all of
I
us.
was Kings.
Not all
damn
of
near
us
out the
have been
womb.
rich enough to go to games when we were 3 months old.
Yeah.
Some of us grew up poor,
I
Kenny.
was 3 years.
you know what
old.
nosebleeds are?
Yeah, I was there. I
Not,
was
not
in
like
the
the ones you
nosebleeds.
get at school where you gotta go to the nurse, but where you sit.
I was in the nosebleeds watching the Sixers versus the Kings on
What's-
a Sunday afternoon, NBC. I was there. I was
What's-
there. Come on, I've been King. Stop playing with me.
What's the medallion?
A basketball.
A Knicks basketball?
No, just a basketball.
I think you're lying.
No, it's just a basketball.
Okay.
Blinged
it at
out
the mall?
basketball. Yes.
Yeah.
Flooring.
The
Flooring
little-
to be
The
exact.
little, what do they call kiosk?
yeah.
Yeah, I got
Flooring
I
to be
got-
exact.
I got plenty of jewelry from there too.
Are we all in
Well,
on signing
so
Keegan?
isn't but so these all okay. Trade DeMar DeRozan. Great. Where? For who? Entertain trading DeMontis Sabonis. I don't know in what world, in whose brain you go, that's a perfect offseason right there. That's a perfect
Well,
move.
You guys know we picked up the phone.
You
and
entertained trading DeMontis Sabonis.
And
And then
he
Keegan,
responds so well to that.
I'm sure he'd respond great. And Keegan, what's the I don't think anyone doesn't want to sign Keegan Murray. I think the question is, what's Keegan Murray's next contract? That's what I think the question is. And that's going to be, unless it's like, whoa, I can't believe he signed for that. Like cheap. That contract is going to be scrutinized a lot. And I'm just talking about within the fan base.
Yeah. Does it matter what you're signing him for? I guess if I'm talking about like on a grander, like to a bigger contract. What I mean by that is there a point where if he's saying, hey, I want that Jalen Green contract, I think it was 3 years, 120 or something like that, the extension. Is that a point where it's like, it's too rich for me for Keegan? Or because of the situation, because
I hope it was 4
you're
years,
at.
120.
Maybe so.
Okay.
But like I don't want to go 120 for Keegan.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Is there a point like that? Or are you just like, see, I feel like you just sign him and figure it out.
Jalen Green was 3 years, 105. He's got a player option in the third year.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Gotcha.
35 per basically.
And that's not a max.
I thought it was a max
Is it?
extension.
Okay.
I
Is
thought
it?
was,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I feel like
Maybe.
you just
I mean,
gotta pay him.
maybe you have, because that wouldn't go into effect this year.
Mhm.
It would go into effect the following year. Levine would have 1 year left, assuming he's still here. I assume that he is. And, well, you're entertaining trading Domas, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
It's all good.
So we're setting the number for Keegan at 35 per year. Well, hold on, because like Jalen Green's there, Michael Porter Jr. is right there.
Anybody think Michael Porter Jr. is a good contract?
He was at one, like he was when he was winning the title with them, and then I guess his back just didn't hold up, or his injuries, excuse me.
I mean,
I
he was
don't even know.
18 per. I'm looking at the regular season. He's dealing with something right now. think he was. I can't remember if it was 18. It was either
I
16
think it's
or
18,
18.
yeah.
Aaron Gordon is 34 per.
Aaron Gordon's a.
DeAndre Ayton is 33.
Does anyone? Man, okay. Aaron Gordon's a difference maker. Is Keegan Murray a difference maker at the level that Aaron Gordon is? I'm asking with no judgment. I'm legitimately asking.
Not yet.
Not yet, but here's what I would say if I was on Keegan's side. Like, hey, the market's been set. It's been set. Like, don't try and shortchange me, because if Jalen Green is making that, if Michael Porter Jr. is making that,
Is Jalen a good contract?
probably not.
Can you give me a $35 million deal? That's a good deal.
You like
I mean,
Drew
Aaron
Holiday at
Gordon. I think
33?
Aaron Gordon's a good. I think Aaron Gordon's a good. But that's a veteran.
So how does that
Sengun's
work?
at 36.
How does that work out though?
Well, Houston might not feel like that's a good contract today, but I think that's fine.
So how does that work out though? Say the Keegan's like, I want 35. Keegan's like, I don't think you were 35. And we're not going to sign. We're going to let you play out your rookie deal. He becomes an unrestricted free agent, correct?
No, I think he's restricted. Or wait, no, because he's coming off his rookie deal, right? Or did he already sign something?
No, he hasn't signed anything. No.
So he'd be
So
restricted.
he's restricted.
Yeah. If he's asking for too much, maybe you just let him play out the year and then see what the market says he's worth.
I think that's what I would do right now. That's what I would
I don't
do.
hate that either.
But like at
Well,
what
if he's
point?
if he's asking for like Casey said, like maybe if you're not comfortable paying 40, 35, we're just throwing numbers out, then yeah, I think that's when you let him play out the year.
And that's
can't go
is
anywhere.
that the breaking point? Like 35 plus is 30? Like it's like nah.
It feels like
We'll let you check the market.
I think
at 30.
25, 30 is cool for Keegan.
maybe I'm unfair because I was thinking like 4 years, 80.
Players
Okay.
making 20 per. Caruso, Josh Hart, Lonzo's there, Dylan Brooks,
I think
DeAndre Hunter's at 22.
Claxton signed for that was 100. Sorry, that was 2 for 100 or 4 for 100.
I feel like that's perfectly fair. 4 years, 80. 20 million a year.
It's not the worst. I mean, actually, that's a great contract.
I don't think that's disrespectful.
I think that's
to
a
him.
great
I think you're a
contract.
$20 million a year player right now.
I think the part where Keegan's representatives would run into trouble is I don't know that most people would go with those. Like I wouldn't use Michael Porter Jr. as an example because I don't know that Denver wants that contract. But at the same point, Michael Porter Jr. is averaging 18 and like 7 or something like that, or 18 and 6.
Right.
Keegan's not doing that.
Right.
So you're kind of catching a double-edged sword if you're Keegan's representatives using a contract like his. Jalen's the same thing. Jalen, you could get a little speculative with, but it's like, they're trying to trade Jalen. Like they're using his contract as a catalyst to something bigger.
Right.
You trying to be with, Sacramento and build something here? Because if you don't, like, let's start that process now and get you somewhere else.
How do we feel
Like
about,
I think you're playing with fire either way if you're Keegan's representative.
how do we feel about RJ Barrett still giving that to Keegan? It's 4 years, 107. It's like 26.7 per year.
That's fair. If I wanted to be really nice, I'd do that and say, hey, and maybe make sure he feels good and say, look, man, we believe in you a little bit. Like, because I think the 480 is good. But if I wanted to be like, nah, Keegan, I want to make sure we appreciate you.
And
like,
that's not what that means.
Well, I think you're 480.
Yeah,
I think
but you know what the reappreciate you deal means? It means the same things it means for RJ Barrett. Your contract will be used to acquire someone else if we need to. Because correct me if I'm wrong, RJ Barrett's not on the team that signed him to the 4-year, $107 million deal.
Nope.
That's true too.
So there's that, and maybe that's part of the game Scott Perry plays. Like we look at worth. Or what do we, and who are we to judge? But like what do we think Keegan Murray is worth? All right. What do the Sacramento Kings think Keegan Murray can be in 2 years? And how tradable is a Keegan Murray at 20? What was the number you just said? $26 million a year, $27 million a year, when he's averaging 18 points per game or 17 points per game, and he's still young and he's on his second contract. How attractive is that if there's a deal out there for us.
And that's another reason the way you just broke that down was perfect. That's another reason why it's almost a no-brainer to sign him to an extension, because you can use that as another asset.
Yeah.
Keegan
Mhm.
Murray becomes an asset.
Yeah,
So-
signing him to an extension is
yeah, and that's because before I thought, well, why not just let him play it out? But if you're trying to build something and create assets and be able to position yourself to maybe get a bigger fish,
yeah.
you want that contract.
You
around
need
that
pieces
can-
to trade,
Yeah,
which
So-
it feels like the Sacramento Kings never have.
right. So 480, I could see his representation being like, no, we don't want to do that. I think you could get a deal done with what Jesse said, the RJ Barrett.
4 and 100 seems
Yeah.
more likely. Anything higher than that, I don't know that you could trade.
Mm.
Like of course you could trade anyone, but I don't know how attractive it is.
Well, then I would use like how Jesse talks about Brock Purdy in that contract. If Keegan's like, yo, I want the Jalen Green deal, or I want the Michael Porter deal, I would say, be fair, Keegan. Nobody in the league is signing you that. If you're on the open market, nobody's signing you $35 million a year.
Yeah.
So why would we just give you that? Because no, like you can get this 4 for 100 that we're being really nice about giving you, and in actuality, we just want to trade you.
Mm.
But we're being really nice about it. Or we could just go to you could just be a restricted free agent and let the market dictate it.
Or not even want to trade you, but
Have the ability
the
to.
option,
Mhm.
like the ability to be a very lucrative trade piece comes in there.